Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. My name is Caitlin McCann and I am your English 002 instructor. In this video, I am going to walk you through the way our Moodle site is organized, and I'm also going to walk you through what you need to do during the first week of class. Now, I realize this is more than likely the first video you are seeing from me, and I may mention some things in this video that are a little confusing, or you may not understand what a certain word means, like NROC or assessment or English 002 workflow. But I promise you, in those other course introduction materials, any questions you may have will more than likely be answered. And as always, please feel free to email me with any questions that you do have. And I may be able to answer those directly via email, or I may point you to a resource in Moodle or NROC that can answer that question for you. So, like I said, first I'm going to walk you through Moodle, and then I'll walk you through what you need to do during the first week of class. So I'm just going to go top to bottom and with the Moodle tour, okay? So the first thing you see is, welcome to English 002, but below that, you'll see that the deadline to submit work is by 2 p.m. on Monday, May 9th. I talk about this deadline more in other videos, but since this is a flexibly paced class, which I also talk about more in other videos, I want that deadline to be one of the first things you see so that you will never forget it as you work through the course materials and assignments. Below that, you will see our syllabus and course schedule. So I have a Word document and a PDF. These documents contain the same information. I just like providing this in two different formats, depending on the type of technology you're using or the kind of software that you have available to you. It may be easier to open a PDF, it may be easier to open a Word document. Below the syllabus, I have a page that contains important tutoring information. I walk through and explain the tutoring center in this video where I review the syllabus. So you can watch that video for more information about tutoring and the tutoring center, but I just want to point out to you that because I think the tutoring center is so important, that I've isolated that information into its own little document so that it's super easy for you to access. And below the tutoring information, I have the course announcements. Now, I communicate with the class through these course announcements. And when I write a course announcement, it will be emailed to you. It will be emailed to your GTCC email account. So you'll get course announcements as they're written. However, if you'd like to go back through the course announcements, like maybe you deleted it from your inbox, or maybe you're like, oh, maybe it's the end of the semester and you're like, oh, Caitlin said this thing like in the first couple of weeks of class. I can't find that course announcement or email anymore. Like, let me go to Moodle and I can find all the old announcements. Over here on the right side of the screen is my contact information. So there's a completely separate video where I introduce myself to you, but I do want to point out that you have a block with all of my contact information. So you have my name, Caitlin McCann. I prefer to be called Caitlin, but if you're more comfortable calling me Miss McCann, that's totally fine. I have my email address, camccann@gtcc.edu. And then below my email address is a phone number, 336-334-4822, extension 50096. That is the phone number for the English department office. When you call that phone number, the only person you will get is the administrative assistant for the English department. She will send me an email telling me that you called, and then I will email you saying, hey, what's up? Do you need to meet? Is this something we can talk about via email? Like, what's going on? So really the best way for you to get in touch with me is via email. Because when you call that phone number, I'm going to be made aware of it via email. So it's really better for you just to call or just to email me, okay? I don't have an office, so if you need to meet with me, we will meet either through Microsoft Teams or Zoom. And meetings are made by appointment. And I talk about this in the syllabus, but if you want to schedule an appointment with me, it needs to be scheduled at least 48 hours in advance. And then just kind of continuing down the right-hand side of the screen, we have these blocks like quick mail, course information, resources. This is just a quick way to access the information that's underneath these larger headers on the left side of the screen. So these larger headers here. First, we have the Start Here block. I'm going to walk, because this is everything that's under the Start Here block. These are tasks that you need to accomplish during the first week of the semester. So I'm going to go ahead and close this block and walk through the other ones, and then we'll come back to the Start Here block. So below the Start Here block, we have course information and student resources. So here I have first course information. So we have the syllabus and course schedule again. And then below that, we have the suggested 10-unit work schedule and the suggested 6-unit work schedule. So I talk about this in other videos, but you either need to complete the first all 10 units in this class or the first 6 units in order to pass. And it is flexibly paced, so you work at your own pace, but I have constructed suggested work schedules for you. So once you've consumed all this course introduction material, you need to set a goal for yourself. Either I want to complete all 10 units or I want to complete the first 6 units. And then you can look at this suggested work schedule that I have for you, or you can come up with your own work schedule. And here's the 6-unit one. So this schedule is really just based on a little bit of math, like how many units there are versus how many weeks are in the semester, as well as how difficult each unit is. So Unit 6 is the most difficult unit. So you can see in this suggested 6-unit work schedule, I have blocked off 4 weeks for you to work in the unit itself, and then 1 day to complete the assessment. And then like Unit 5 is a little bit harder than Unit 4, so I have 3 weeks for Unit 5 versus like 2 for Unit 4 and 2 for Unit 3 and 2 for Unit 2 and 2 for Unit 1. And like in the suggested work schedule, or the 10-unit suggested work schedule, obviously you have more units to accomplish in the same amount of time as you would for the 6 units. So the 10-unit one moves a little bit faster, but still Unit 6 is the most difficult unit, so I carve out a larger chunk of time for that particular unit. This is just suggested. We all work at different paces. A unit that I may find difficult, or that students in the past have found the most difficult, may not be that difficult for you. Or a unit that's, quote, easier may be more difficult for you. And that's totally fine. Like, I'm just going off of, again, how many units, how many weeks, and in the past, what unit students have found to be the most difficult, or the units that are like consistently easier versus consistently more difficult. So again, this is just a guide. I'm not comparing anyone to another student. This is a schedule that I basically recycle every semester, except for the summer where there's fewer weeks. So this is just, again, it's based on math, how many units there are versus how many weeks are in the semester, and then factoring in the level of difficulty of each unit. And also, obviously, like the units are going to get more difficult as you progress. So, yeah. Below the suggested work schedules, I have a PowerPoint that shows you how to navigate NROC. So there is a course introduction video where I walk you through how to use NROC step by step, but there's also a PowerPoint here for you in case you would rather refer back to the PowerPoint than scrubbing through the video. Then below the Navigating NROC PowerPoint, I have an English 002 workflow document. I also walk through this document in a course introduction video, but again, I try and provide like a document for like each video, if that makes sense. Like, so again, so that you don't have to scrub through a video, rewind, fast forward, you can refer back to the document instead. And if you refer back to the document and you're still like a little bit confused, you can rewatch the video. And then below the English 002 workflow document, I have a PDF that contains grading criteria. I don't walk through this particular document in the syllabus video, but I do explain how things are graded in this class in the syllabus video. So, and some of the information here is taken from the syllabus, but if you're ever confused or can't remember how this class is graded, please be sure to review this grading criteria document. And also, I talk about it in the other videos. And then there's a link to the grade book, but I don't use the grade book in this class. Like this, it means nothing, okay? Basically, like the grades you earn on your final draft and the grades you earn on assessments are important in regards to moving on to the next step, but those are not at all factored into your final grade. So no one in English 002, no one who teaches English 002 uses a grade book. And this is also like linked to an old class of mine, like a very old class of mine, so I may just end up deleting that link. Because no one uses it. And then below the course information, I have some links to different student resources. So first we have a link to the tutoring center and GTCC's library, and then there are just some general internet links like helping with capitalizing titles, a link to Purdue University's online writing center, some stuff about grammar, just anything you may find useful. Now below course information and student resources, we have weekly attendance checks. So I talk about attendance in more detail in the syllabus video, but I'll just read you what I have here and just kind of explain this a little bit. So attendance will be measured through weekly attendance checks. Attendance checks will become available at 12 a.m. on Mondays and close 11:50 p.m. on Fridays. You cannot make up missed attendance checks. For each attendance check you complete, you will earn a skip on an assessment. Skips on assessments can only be applied to specific questions on an assessment after the assessment has been taken. Skips do not apply to units or assessments as a whole. In order to pass an assessment, you must earn a minimum of an 80. If you earn a 75 on an assessment, you can apply one of your skips. If you earn a 70 on an assessment, you can apply 2 of your skips. Only a maximum of 2 skips can be applied to an assessment. If you have a specific attendance rules tied to VA financial aid, please note that completing these assignments is tied to those specific attendance rules. So the attendance check is pretty simple. You have this, please type, oh my gosh, a typo. It's going to be in every single one. Please type present in order to be counted present for the week. And then you just type present and you finish the attempt and you submit all and finish, submit all and finish, and that's all you do. That's all you have to do to be counted present for the week. Again, I explain attendance in more detail in the syllabus video, but I just wanted to give you a demonstration of how to do this, and I apologize that every single one of these is going to say peas instead of please. But then you get a good laugh every week. Alrighty, so below the weekly attendance checks, we have lessons and course materials. This section contains PowerPoints, video lessons, and other materials covering information that will supplement the content in NROC, thus making you navigate the units more effectively and more efficiently. These materials coincide with the course schedule in our syllabus, meaning materials that are labeled Week 2 will be focused on concepts learned in Unit 1. Materials that are labeled Week 3 will be focused on concepts learned in Unit 2, and so on. The units, however, do build upon each other, so materials that focused on concepts learned in Unit 1 will still be helpful when you are in Unit 5. You may also find it useful to skip ahead in the lessons depending on what you need to learn more about. This schedule is quite flexible, as it really depends on how everyone is progressing through the units, and sometimes I will put together an unscheduled lesson if I find that there are several students struggling with the same concept. Please remember that many of us are going to be in different units from one another, so if you are ahead of the curve, then please be sure to utilize the foundation resources, virtual tutoring services, and me if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. So basically, if you click on video lessons weeks 2 and 3 and any of the video lessons tabs, you'll see here we have video lesson for topic sentences, rhetorical situations, and how to write a summary. And these video lessons align with the PowerPoints below them. So I use these PowerPoints, like these PowerPoints will be on the screen, and I speak over them. So you really need to watch the videos. Like, you shouldn't just look at the PowerPoints, because you need the information that I'm saying out loud to help you understand a lot of the slides, okay? And this is how you attend class. This is how I teach. And you skipping these lessons is the same exact thing as if you skipped class, okay? But again, I like to provide the document itself so that after you've watched the video lesson, you can go back through the PowerPoint itself on your own, okay? Everything is available. Everything from the beginning of the semester to the end of the semester is available to you. And that's for a few reasons. I said some of those reasons up here, but I'll repeat myself. So this class is flexibly paced. Most people are entering in Unit 1, but some people may be entering a little bit later on in the units. And also, you know, week 4 I have working with commas, but week 4 working with commas can be very helpful to you and for you during the first or second week of the semester. And also, you may be all the way down here. It may be like the 15th week of the semester, but you're like, you still need a topic sentence in every single essay that you write. And oh man, I'm like kind of drawing a blank on topic sentences, so I'm going to go all the way back to week 2 and look at that PowerPoint or watch that video. Okay? Again, like, this is how I teach. This is where I'm teaching. I'm not throwing you in here trying to make you figure things out for yourself. I'm not having just NROC teach you. These are the lessons that I teach when I teach this class in person, but I'm giving you everything ahead of time because we're all in different places and spaces, and you, like I said, topic sentences will be in every essay you write. Thesis statements will be in every essay you write. So things that we talk about in week 5 are relevant in week 2. Things we talk about in week 5, or things we talk about in week 2 are relevant in week 5. Okay. And this section, this folder here, weeks 7 through 8 of the Unit 6 essay resources, this is really, really, really important for you to use when you're writing your Unit 6 essay. And also, just to clarify that the way I do have it organized is based off of the suggested 10-unit work schedule. So that's the other thing, is like for some of you, week 3, you may still be working on Unit 1, and that's totally fine. Just kind of maybe ignore the weeks and focus on the topic of each lesson, because again, it's all relevant no matter where you are. Though if you're in the earlier units, some things down here like counter arguments and citing things aren't going to be that helpful for you or relevant. And then below lessons and course materials, we have the units. Now, as you can see here, the units are hidden from students. So you cannot see them. When you log into your Moodle site, you won't be able to access these. I grant access to units on an individual basis. I restrict access to units so that people aren't working ahead. Some people just don't, because they're not watching the course introduction materials, or maybe they're just a little bit confused. Some people accidentally work in the wrong unit. And I want to make sure that I can help you avoid wasting any time. Like, if you're in Unit 1, but you've been working in Unit 3 this whole time, I'm not going to realize that until you submit a Unit 3 essay, and I'm like, wait a minute, no, you're in Unit 1. So I want to make sure that that time you spent writing a Unit 3 essay, you could have spent writing a Unit 1 essay. And also, some people think that working ahead in the units saves time or like optimizes the use of your time, but it really doesn't. So right now, because no one is allowed to be working in the units, everything is going to be hidden and restricted. I will, once you're able to work in a unit, I will grant you access to that unit. But right now, everything is hidden, everything is locked. But once you have a unit, each unit looks like this. And I talk about this more in the Navigating NROC video, but I'll still show you. So every unit begins with a green puzzle piece and a link that says click here to begin unit whatever. And that's how you access NROC. You click on the link and it'll take you to whatever unit you are working in. And you start at introduction and you work your way through. Again, I talk about this more in the Navigating NROC video. And then below every link to the unit, you have foundation resources. So every unit has foundation resources, but every unit's foundation resources are different. Like here, we're talking about author and audience and purpose and topic sentences and facts and opinions and so on. But in Unit 2, we're talking about main idea, supporting details, and summaries. So because each unit, again, things you learn in Unit 1, you will apply to Unit 2, but each unit tries to focus on a very particular concept. So the foundation resources will reflect that particular concept, and there will also be some like grammar and punctuation things involved. So these foundation resources are super important, and you really need to use them. You need to use NROC's foundation resources and my video lessons. I really try and not make things repetitive, So if I see NROC has a good lesson about something, I will try not to repeat that. But there are super important things like topic sentences that I have to teach you about. Like, I can't not teach you about topic sentences, and you need like way more information than is under this link, okay? But I'm not going to create a lesson on fact and opinion when what NROC did here with this foundation resource is sufficient. Same with like subjects and verbs and prepositional phrases. So like if you click a foundation resource, it stays within Moodle. It'll look like this, and you can just read it and scroll through it. If you want to, you can take notes. Like, you really need to work through these because they're especially helpful for the assessments. Like the Unit 1 assessment, like there's questions about prepositional phrases. There are a lot of punctuation questions and questions about context clues. So there are things here that in the foundation resources that I don't teach about, that you don't learn about in this portion of NROC, but you do read about here that will be asked on the assessment, okay? So please make sure you're working your way through this. And I'm pretty sure I say this in the assessment video, but it's totally fine for you, like when you're taking an assessment, for you to go back and look through these foundation resources, for you to go back into NROC, for you to go back into my video lessons and PowerPoints. And also, like, there will be things that you're asked about in Unit 2 that you didn't learn about in Unit 2, but you did learn about in Unit 1. So please just keep bouncing back and forth between the units as needed, okay? And again, this is just to show you that is how every single unit is organized. You have a link to the unit, you have your foundation resources, and you have an assessment. And to reiterate, the units are going to remain locked and restricted until you are in that unit. The same goes for the assessment. The assessment will remain hidden until I give someone the password to it. So you may be able to see an assessment while you're working in Unit 1, but you won't be able to access it until I give you the password, okay? So that covers it for the Moodle tour. Now I want to walk through the Start Here block with you because it's super important. Okay, so the Start Here block, these are the tasks you will be completing the first week of the semester. So the census date for this course is Thursday, January 20th. You must complete the census activities below, verify your enrollment, and academic integrity quiz before 11:50 p.m. on Thursday, January 20th. Otherwise, you will automatically be withdrawn from the course. So the census date, that is the 10% point of the semester. And if you're in a face-to-face class, you have to attend class physically at least once before the census date. And if you're in an online class, you must complete one of these activities before 11:50 p.m. on Thursday, January 20th. If you do not complete one of these census activities before 11:50 p.m. on Thursday, January 20th, you will automatically be withdrawn from the class. There is nothing I can do about it. I have no control over this. I cannot stress that enough. Do this immediately. Complete a census activity immediately. I will email people every single day or close to every single day until you complete a census activity. So if you're getting those emails and you think you completed a census activity, but you're still getting those emails, you need to tell me. because something didn't go through, if that's the case. All right. And they're like quick little things, just you click on the link and you answer the question. I am enrolled and have access to this online course. True. And then like I showed you with the attendance check. So like I showed you with the example attendance check, you just answer the question and then you'll click finish attempt and submit your answer a couple of times. So that's for the verify your enrollment census activity. The census activity for academic integrity quiz is, I think a smidge longer, unless they've since made it shorter. No, it is like a little bit longer, but super easy. And again, you must complete these census activities before 11:50 p.m. on Thursday, January 20th. Otherwise, you will automatically be withdrawn from the class, and there is absolutely nothing I can do to reverse that. So, below the census activities, we have a page with the Navigating Moodle and Where to Begin video, and that is this video. I am sending this video out to you via email, but you can also find it in this document right here, and I'll also have a course announcement go out that will have the video and the welcome email in it. Once you've watched this video, you need to watch the course introduction videos. And these are the videos that I was talking about where if I've said something in this video that may seem a little confusing or raise some questions for you, you can watch these course introduction videos and they will more than likely answer all of your questions. So first there's the video Meet Your Instructor, then Introducing English 002, Reviewing the Syllabus, Introducing and Navigating NROC, Introducing and Navigating Assessments, and Reviewing the English 002 workflow. So, after you've watched all of those videos, NROC has a course orientation video that they made themselves. So please watch that video as well. Do not watch the NROC course orientation video instead of watching my video, because my video goes into a lot more detail and explains some of the more confusing things that you'll run into when you're first getting to understand NROC. Below NROC's course orientation video, you will see the Getting to Know Each Other forum. So in the Meet Your Instructor video, I answer a set of questions so that I'm able to introduce myself to you. And I'm asking you to answer those same questions in the Getting to Know Each Other forum. So in the video, like I said, answer these questions. I also explain what some of them mean. But I also made my own little discussion post so that you can see how to answer these questions. And all you need to do is click add a new discussion topic, type in a subject, and then answer the questions here. And then once you've completed all of these tasks, and I want you to understand that I can see every single click you make in Moodle. So more often than not, I know by looking at your Moodle activity whether or not you've done everything you need to do. I will not open up the pre-assessment for anyone who has not completed these course introduction tasks. You will save yourself a lot of trouble if you just go ahead and watch these videos. I've dedicated the entire first week to you completing these tasks, watching these videos, and taking the first taking the pre-assessment. Most people skip over them, and it shows, and it doesn't make me happy. when I put forth all this effort and people just skip over it. So a lot of times folks will ask me questions and I'll say, oh, you know what? I answer that here. So why don't you go ahead and watch that video and let me know if you have any more questions, okay? Once you've completed all of these course introduction tasks, you need to email me and ask for the password for the pre-assessment. Once you take the pre-assessment, you submit it, you need to email me and let me know so that I can open up Unit 1 for you. One of the most common ways I know people have not watched any of my course introduction videos is that they will email me asking why they can't get into the pre-assessment. Meanwhile, literally say it right here to reach out to me for the password. Please look at everything. Everything that is written here, everything that I have provided for you here, that NROC has provided for you here, is there for a reason. Every single word is important, so please be sure to read it, okay? Please, you may think you're saving time by skipping over things, but you're not. You're putting yourself behind because you don't understand how to do something, okay? That was explained to you already. And I understand, believe me, I understand that we have things explained to us and we still don't fully get it. And that's fine. But most, like 99% of the time, most people don't understand how to do things in our Moodle site or in NROC because they have not watched the course introduction materials. And I know that because I can see every single click you make. Okay? In the navigating assessment videos, I show you how to take an assessment. But once you have the password, you will have to type it or copy and paste it into this box, okay? So that pretty much covers it for the navigating Moodle and where to begin video. From here, you need to start working your way through these tasks, okay? And just to reiterate, I will email you every day or almost every day until you complete a census activity because I don't want you to get kicked out of the class, okay? So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and good luck.